welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. Today is Friday, August the 11th. So it's Friday. How's everybody doing? Excuse me for the noise. The baby, he's out in the courtyard, and apparently I think the baby is upset. you know, but you know how babies are. But anyway, I come today because I just had like a terrible experience yesterday. But everything's good, so that's the good thing out of it. But yesterday, everybody pretty much know, if you go back look at my blog, I always watch my grandkids. I pick them up from daycare, and not daycare, I'll pick them up from camp, and I watch them till their mom come home. So yesterday when my daughter got home, she said to me, "Mom, do you want me to drive you home?" And I said, "Great," because my significant other working on a second job. He don't pick me up until like 11:30. Sometimes it's 12. It varies. So to get home early, was just perfect. So we come downstairs to get in her truck, and I forgot that I left my phone upstairs in her house. So I was on my way to go get my phone, and my grandson had said, like, "Oh, Nene," because that's what they call me. "I want to get my iPad." I said, "Okay," because it is me and my daughter. We do live a distance from each other, so the iPad would keep him occupied while he's in the car for the drive. So we went upstairs. He got his iPad. I got my phone, and no more than 10 minutes at the most. Come back downstairs into the parking lot where my daughter's parked, and she's like bawling. She's crying. She's hysterical, and I'm like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" And she said, she's kind of like, she's all crying and everything. So I really couldn't make out what she was saying, but I did understand it. She said, "I locked the car, and the baby's the what? The baby's in the car. I locked the car. I accidentally locked the car with my keys and my phone, and the baby's in the car also." I'm like, "How? how did you manage to lock your keys and your cell phone along with the baby?" Because I remember when I left her, she was just putting the baby in the car seat before I went upstairs to go get my phone and my grandson's iPad. She was putting the baby in his car seat, but her daughter was there too. So I'm taking it as she was telling me that she put the baby in the car seat. Well, no, she took her phone and her keys and she tossed it in the front seat. Then she put the baby in the car seat, locked him up in the car seat, closed his door, forgot that she threw her phone and her keys in the front seat, and shut the door. And she has an automatic car, so when you shut the door with the windows up, it automatic locks on its own. Lord. So she's hysterical. She's on the phone now talking to her father because she do have a code that she can punch in to unlock the door, but apparently her father doesn't know where the code is. She can't remember the code, and long and behold, the code number is in her phone, which happens to be in the car. I said, "Look, hang the phone up from your father, because he's not any good to you, because where he lives, it's going to take a minute. You're better off calling 911 and having the police come down here and unlock your car. You go on, dial 911, tell the dispatch that your child is locked in the car. They will send a police officer down here to open up your door." The police station is only 5 minutes away from where she lives. On top of that, the fire department is probably like 3 minutes away from where she lives. So talking to your father, trying to have him come over here, would be, to me, like a waste of time. But at the end of the rainbow, long and behold, who pulls into her complex parking lot? A city work tow truck. I kid you not. A city work tow truck pulls in her parking lot. So I flagged him down and said, "Please, can you help us? My daughter has locked her keys in her car along with her baby." And he was like, "Oh, hold up, wait a minute." He like swerved that truck. He swerved that truck jumped out that truck, grabbed whatever he needed, the Jimmy thing to unlock the door and something else. He went, within seconds, he had that door open. Within seconds. Now, by now, my daughter's still crying, her oldest daughter's crying, and her oldest son is crying. And the baby's crying. And I'm just like, still on, like, why did you put your keys in the car? And then I had asked my daughter after everything was said and I said, like, do you know that your truck is automatic? Meaning, I'm assuming, when you close your doors and the windows are up, you don't even have to lock the door because it will lock automatic on its own. She knows it now. She didn't know it before. But the fact of it is, my daughter her anxiety is so bad that she can't think, she can't focus. Only thing she's doing is crying. And like I said, when I was upstairs, I don't know how long the baby had been in the truck, because I was upstairs for only 10 minutes. But I want to say she was probably like panicking and just running around the parking lot. Because when I came downstairs, she was like walking towards, back to her apartment building. So I'm like, I don't know if she was coming upstairs to get me. I don't know what she was going to do. But also, I told you, if you can't remember your code, write it on a piece of paper and stick it upstairs in your house somewhere. So therefore, if something like this happened, you have the code number upstairs. Because look, by you having the code number in your phone, you wind up locking your phone in the car. So it was no good. But I forgot to ask her, she does has an Apple phone. And I'm like, if she has an Apple phone, she could have went right on her phone and got the code. But she was so hysterical, and her anxiety is so freaking bad. She lose focus. And like, with that being said, when she gets like that, her kids see her. So they just bawl out too. They see their mother, their parent crying and upset. They immediately jump into that fear and clinging and upset and try to figure out, why is my mother crying, or whatever the case is. So I told her, I said, you need to really stop controlling your anxiety and just flipping out like that around your kids, because it's not good for you and it's not good for them. You're putting them you're putting them through too much for something that could be taken care of if you stay level-headed. And that's all I was. I was very level-headed. When the guy came over, and he said he was lucky because he was coming in the parking lot to park the truck to go across the street to get something, some food or whatever. So that was a godsend, totally. I say you was definitely a godsend, because this just happened and you just happened to pull up. So all worked out. And it wasn't a very hot day yesterday because it happened yesterday. But, like I told my daughter, you really need to learn how to control yourself as a parent. Control yourself when you come in a situation like this, or any situation, because you're the parent. You need to take the initiative, leadership of your children on how to get out of a situation. If you're hysterical and you're losing control, that's time. Time, you're on a time. Because if it was like 100 degrees and the baby's in the car, how long do you think him becoming dehydrated, suffocated, or whatever the case is? The windows are up. The doors are locked. So you need to be able, she needed to learn to be able to control herself. Because she wasn't even in a good situation to even call 911 to even explain to them what was going on. This is time. This is time. You're blowing because you can't control yourself. You need to learn how to control yourself in situations like those, or any other kind of bad situation. Fires, floods, children getting locked in a car, in an elevator. You can't flip out in front of your kids, because if you flip out, they're going to flip out, because the only thing they see is their parent crying and hollering and screaming or whatever, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. Because mind you, her son was with me. So when he came downstairs and he seen her upstairs and she's trying to tell me what's going on, immediately he busts out crying too. So it all ended wonderfully. The tow truck was right there. Opened up that truck and that was it. And she dropped me off at home. She was fine and everything, but she said when she got home, her anxiety once again kicked in, and she started reminiscing about what happened, and she was crying. And I'm saying, like, look, what happened has happened. It's over. Right now, you need to regroup yourself and prepare yourself for any other thing that may happen. Hopefully, by the grace of God, nothing else happened. But you always got to be a parent. You got to be that number one person that is controlling. So you need to think. You need to be able to control yourself and think about how to get out of whatever situation that you may be in, especially if it's endangering your children and yourself. So the story ends with a happy ending, but it was just like, I want to choke her, because it's just like, it was a very easy situation, because like I said, all she had to do was call 911. If that tow truck hadn't came, I would have been on the phone, because I had told her, hang up and call 911. But then when I see him coming into the complex, I said, wait a minute, there's a tow truck. I waited for him to come around and found out that he was a city worker tow truck. That made matters even better, because pretty much that's what they do when they tow your car, or ticket and tow. That's what they do. So I knew he had the right equipment. Any tow truck would have it anyway, But and because she was also going to say she's going to call AAA. I'm saying AAA takes forever. They're like the last resort. Something like this with your child in the car, trapped in the car, you call 911. You call 911. You tell them the situation, and trust me, they got police and fire department in the civilian area anyway. So after a long day, I came home and I had a glass of wine. And I can't tell you the last time I had a wine. I cannot tell you the last time I had a glass of wine. I had a glass of wine last night, because that child of mine. But I'm still going to sit down and talk to her. I didn't want to drill her. I wanted her to try to realize that, the kids are okay, she's okay. It happens. It doesn't label you as a bad parent, because she's like, I'm going to be labeled as a bad parent and all this stuff. I'm like, girl, you're not going to be labeled as a bad parent. You're just labeled as a person who just happened to just put your baby in the car and threw your keys in your phone and shut the door, and your door just automatically locked. That's all. It ain't something that you purposely did. It ain't something that you generally do. So, but anyway. So that what happened yesterday. Today was a better day, and I just wanted to share that little story with you, because I'm just saying, like, parents, just be careful. Like I said, things happen. And in that state of mind, you just have to stay focused. Stay focused. That's all. Anyway, have a good day. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.